drive-by shootings is organ stealing.
I'm worth $50 million and I need a kidney. And you know, kidneys are pretty sensitive. You gotta find somebody who really got the kidney that matches yours. You think I'm gonna wait till somebody die for me to get one? If I don't get one soon, I'm gonna die. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay somebody to go research people. Okay, let's go look at all the black organ donors. Let's look at all the black people who got organ donor on their driver's license, which is why I'm not a friend of that. I say, if you wanna donate your organs, put it in your will. Say that if I die, this could go to my family, my relatives, my friends, or whomever. But when you put it on your license, I believe you make yourself a public target. And so what did they find? We got a guy in Los Angeles. He has the same blood type as you, same kidney type as you likely. He healthy though, he ain't likely to die no time soon. He don't know you, so he ain't gonna give you no organ for free. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he was in a car accident. We're gonna arrange a murder that makes it look like he committed suicide. So the next thing you know, you coming out the gas station, boom, you get hit by a Mack truck, you dead, gone. You get taken to the funeral home, your family come to the funeral, they don't know that before your body got laid to rest, a little hole was poked and they pulled your kidney out.
A lot of people don't know, when you get arrested or even when you get convicted, a lot of times law enforcement or police will swab your mouth for DNA. And now they have your DNA record on file, they have your genetic information on file. And you have to understand, with law enforcement, a lot of times they'll sell your information to tabloids and, like, especially celebrities, they sell their information to tabloids and magazines and news outlets all the time. So it's not a stretch to believe that they won't use your DNA or your genetic information for nefarious reasons.
You, my son. Cops come by and inform me you just been shot dead. You don't have jurisdiction over that body. That's the coroner. You can't get that body till the coroner release you. So we'll get released, we go down and pick it up, and I see all these cuts and these stitches. I just thought they was doing a routine investigation following the fact. I didn't know they took your organs. I'm under all this stress, my son is dead. Now you buried now, I can't dig you up because the court got the information. Most of those cases is organ stealing.
It's been known for a long time, even back in slavery times, that black organs were considered superior genetically to other folks' organs. For example, whenever there's a transplant, okay, especially when rich folks get heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant, they like white, they like black organs. We had a famous case in Pennsylvania, Governor Casey, who was one of the most racist governors who ever lived, back in the late 80s, early 90s. He had a heart transplant. Guess whose heart they gave him? A black person's heart.
Down in Georgia, there was a case of an African-American 17-year-old kid who was found mysteriously dead at school. He died in the gym, they did an autopsy and they buried him. His family, they weren't satisfied with the results because they still wanted to know what happened to their son. They had the body exhumed, found out that his organs were missing and his body was stuffed with newspapers, and people are still trying to find answers. The officials down there in Georgia, they act like they don't know what's going on. There was another case out here in California. A young African-American man was found dead in Death Valley in the desert. All of his organs were missing. His liver, heart, lungs, kidneys, all gone. There's a case in the UK recently. A Somalian girl was brought over there for organ harvesting. They found out that they were going to harvest her organs and they stopped that. There was another case in Asian couples. They went over to Africa. They adopted a black girl. 2 weeks later, she was dead. So these cases of organ harvesting are just going on all over the world, and people are being real quiet about it.
And I'm Leanne McAdoo hosting. Joining me now is Jakari Jackson. Jakari, you know, I wanted to get you in here because we have some breaking news. A really disgusting video is making the rounds now on the internet. If you want to check out the article, it's up on Infowars.com. Adon Salazar has wrote it. It's called Caught on Tape. Planned Parenthood doctor admits to selling aborted baby body parts.
It's quite the headline, but it's also quite true. Adon told me about this article a little bit earlier in the day when he was, compiling all of his statements here. And when he first told me about it, even before I saw the video, I just couldn't believe that this was actually happening and true. Because, of course, we know was the abortionist Kermit, he was caught doing all kinds of things. His aides came out and spoke out against those type of incidents. And you'd like to think that this is just a one-off type of deal. But as we see with this article and some of the things we've seen before, it's not the case. These things continue to happen, and as horrific as they are, it sounds like something out of a horror movie, but these are things that are happening right here in the United States of America.
Right, and that's exactly how I felt when I saw this video. It was unbelievable to me, and it did make me tear up. I got a big lump in my stomach. But let me just kind of tell you a little bit about, it's a hidden camera video. It's coming out of Los Angeles, and it features the senior director of medical services there at Planned Parenthood. So this is not just some rogue Planned Parenthood worker. This is like a top-down directive here. It's Dr. Deborah Nucatola. Might not be saying that right. But anyway, so she is caught on camera discussing the practice of selling these body parts of aborted babies. This is in blatant violation of federal law. And this is part one of a 3-part documentary series that's coming from the Center for Medical Progress. So they've got this undercover footage, and here you'll be able to view that video if you go to Infowars.com. Adon has the video embedded in his article, so you can watch that in full there. It's got subtitles as well. But the senior director is explaining to a male and female couple over lunch how the procedure goes down and which human organs are most popular.
And when you watch this video, they explain it so calmly. The senior director does, and it's almost like they're talking about harvesting chickens or cows or something to that regard, talking about, well, the organs of the liver and the heart and all these other things. It's just so calm, and like she's, done it before, and it's a very disturbing, disgusting video.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and play some of that now.
Now a story we guarantee most of you have never heard before. Big money is being made from the sale of fetal body parts.
Even the most ardent pro-choice advocates, like Planned Parenthood
video from 2000, actually, they started the film with it, where they're...
It seems inappropriate, totally inappropriate.
So those are clips from 2000 on the news, and here, this is actually now undercover Planned Parenthood admitting it. So obviously, you might find some of the content disturbing.
Attack parts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. Maybe to investigate. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them.
Good for them.
The first time she said people wanted lungs, right? And then, like I said, always as many attack livers as possible. People just want livers. People want lower extremities too.
Lower extremities.
I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle.
Yeah, that time it doesn't.
Okay, let's pause that video right there and just. So that's what you were describing, Jakari. So here she's talking about people, they want livers and they want fully intact hearts because they need all the nodes for the hearts. And she's like shoving salad in her mouth and drinking her wine. And it totally reminds me of that scene out of Silence of the Lambs when Dr. Lecter is talking about eating the guy with like fava beans and a Chianti. I mean, that's what that lady reminds me of, just discussing this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite, like I said, disturbing to see such a thing, but that's the temperament of how calmly these people can describe some of these things. And to all these people who say that a aborted or a child in the womb isn't a person, well, you can hear in this clip this woman talking about how you can clearly identify the heart, the liver, the lungs, all these vital body parts, but you can identify that as human body parts, but they want to say that the child is not a human being.
Right, exactly. And this is the big deal with these late-term abortions. I mean, there's like big money for them in this. I mean, here she doesn't really talk about some of those prices. They might not get that much for it, but the hospitals themselves that are dealing in these transplants and things, they are making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this. So the video goes on, you hear them talking. We'll go ahead and play it, but they're describing how this is in total violation of federal law. It's against the law here in America to sell human body parts. But then they're kind of discussing how they're getting around that. So go ahead and play that. So the commercial trafficking body parts from an aborted baby, punishable by up to 10 years in prison or a fine of up to $500,000. Now, this is an actual order form where you can order. They're showing an order form. You can say, what type of tissue would you like to order? What's the, what age? And now they're sort of talking about how they go undercover. They're posing as a fetal tissue procurement company. So
I'm the medical director for the national office for all of the affiliates. So I say, okay, what are you looking to supply today? We're very good at getting heart, lung, liver.
So in the fact that they're so nonchalant, you can, you basically know that this isn't the first time she's had this conversation with people.
Provider has had patients who want to donate their tissue, and they absolutely want to accommodate them. They just want to do it in a way that is not perceived as this clinic is selling tissue, this clinic is making money off of this.
She's talking about making money.
When you are or the affiliate is determining what that is monetary.
Yes.
So that it doesn't raise any question of this is what it's about. This is the main. What price range would you?
So right now they're explaining the process.
I would say it's probably anywhere from $30 to $100, depending on the facility and what's involved.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a difference can that actually make if you know what kind of what's expected or what we need versus?
It makes a huge difference. I'd say a lot of people want liver, and for that reason, most providers put this case under ultrasound guidance. So
maybe we can pause it right there and talk about how she has pretty much a hot list. You know, a lot of people want the liver, they want the heart, you know, and what exactly they're going to do with these things, we don't know, but it's, you know, quite disgusting to see them so nonchalantly talk about these things as if, you know, it's just like a part of a chicken or a harvested cow.
Right. And she talks, now she's going to go on to say, you know, how they go about procuring these organs, because here we're talking about a tiny little baby. And so she's talking about the procedure and how they have to use a certain type of forceps method so they can get the heart, the lung, the liver without crushing that part. So they want to be sure they can, you know, get it all out without damaging these
they don't want to damage the tissue of the baby. You know, they're quite adamant about that. They want it in the most pristine condition, so that anybody who would view this and see how they try to profit off of your child, your aborted child. So it's not just, you know, they take it and whatever people think the disposal method for it is. No, they are repurposing your child to sell it to very strange people.
Right. And she's also now talking about how they circumvent that. There's that little gray area where they're like, well, you know, it's against the law to sell mutilated dead baby parts, essentially. And so now she's going to kind of get into say how they get around that. And you know, as long as they didn't intentionally, in quotes. So go ahead and roll.
$100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a difference can that actually make if you know what kind of what's expected or what we need versus?
It makes a huge difference. I'd say a lot of people want liver, and for that reason, most providers put this case under ultrasound guidance, so they'll know where they're putting their forceps.
Takes a big gulp of wine.
Procedure is calvarium. Calvarium, the head is basically the biggest part. Most of the other stuff can come out intact.
Right.
It's very rare to have a patient that doesn't have enough diet.
So getting the head is difficult, but
to bring the body cavity out intact and all that.
So then you're just kind of cognizant of where you put your breast first. You try to intentionally go above and below the thorax so that, you know, we've been very good at getting heart, lung, liver.
So this is, you know.
So I'm not.
Yeah, she's basically giving the play-by-play of how they go about
procuring, harvesting. This is not her first rodeo here with this. I mean, this is just disgusting. And the thing that's really shocking is that, you know, most of the time they will save the best for last. And this is the first little clip we're getting out of this upcoming documentary. So there's other clips that we don't even know what is about to be hitting.
Yeah, and we've seen things going on in other parts of the world. Like we have this article right here from the Business Insider. A British man was caught trying to smuggle a roasted baby fetus into Thailand. And, you know, that defies words in and of itself. But I think here in the States, we always like to pride ourselves, well, maybe that's happening in the rest of the world, but that can never happen here. It's happening here.
Right.
And it has been happening here because, as you can see, it's, you know, it's like a farmer talking to somebody at the bait shop. You know, they know exactly what they're doing, how they're going about it. And it's very sad to see that this goes on. And kudos to the people that filmed the thing, because I really don't understand how you can sit there with a straight face, but you know, they did what they had to do to get the video out.
So yeah, I mean, this is going on. It's disgusting. And here, this lady is so nonchalant describing exactly how this happens. And like we said, you know, this is a senior director of medical services, so she's not just some rogue agent there who's making a little money on the side. This is going on across the country. So no wonder they don't want to take out the partial birth abortions.
Well, the thing that you'll often run into when you talk to somebody about Planned Parenthood and you talk about the abortions, and they say, well, abortions is only a small part of what we do. Well, I'm like, well, when people go out there and rally against you, they're not protesting the fact that you give out free pins and lollipops at the front desk. They're protesting the fact that you have abortions. And now we see what these abortions are turning into. They're turning into a meat market where they are literally selling body parts of dead children.
Right. And then it's like you see stuff like this and you wonder how that the one girl that was saying, you know, she was so proud of herself. Oh, I kill my kids, that we had at that abortion protest. And these are people that are self-proclaimed communists because they want to save the underdog and the underclass. And here it's like, who's the most that needs saving?
Oh yeah, that's a very good point, because they always, oftentimes these abortion clinics they'll be located in low-income neighborhoods. They have many minorities who go there and use their facilities, you know, other races as well. But, you know, it's always, you know, we're here to help you. We're here to help you do whatever you have to do. So they'll bring these people in, charge them what's like $300 or something around that price tag to have the baby aborted, but then they'll turn around and sell the aborted fetus for as much as they can get.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play some more of this repugnant clip.
I'm going to crush that part. I'm going to basically crush below, I'm going to crush above, then I'm going to see that get attacked. And with the calvarium, in general, some people will actually try to change the presentation so that it's not a vertex. Because when it's a vertex presentation, you never have enough dilation at the beginning unless you have a real huge amount of dilation to deliver an intact calvarium. So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. So I mean, there are certainly steps that can be taken.
So they can convert to breech, for example, at the start of the.
Yeah, totally dangerous for the mom to have a breech birth. Women can die during childbirth. But here they're talking about how they flip it around so they can pull it out to get that fully intact head, because the calvarium is just so important.
And I definitely encourage everybody who's listening to this to go to Infowars.com and watch these videos for yourself, because you can hear it. You know, it's a little distorted, but if you watch the video, you can see it along with the subtitles and see everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So definitely go to that. It says, caught on tape, Planned Parenthood doctor admits to selling aborted baby body parts, and that's on Infowars.com, the article by Adon Salazar.
Yes, be sure to tweet that out, share it on Facebook, because people don't believe this kind of thing is happening. And this is just more fuel when you try to have a conversation with people about this. This is why this is so shocking, so repulsive.
Yeah, because, I mean, people see the stuff that we've put out, you know, like when we had the abortion rally, or that lady who was running around the Texas Capitol talking about hell Satan, and they think it's, you know, we cherry pick that stuff. This stuff happens a lot. And I'm not saying everybody who's pro-abortion is, you know, into selling babies, but it's not a once in a blue moon kind of deal.
Yeah.
Back to Planned Parenthood, they get $550 million of taxpayer money to continue their work. They're the largest abortion provider in the nation, and you're paying for it. So in any event, Margaret Sanger was the founder of Planned Parenthood. And go back and read her writing. She wrote a monograph that I read called Breeding the Thoroughbred. And what she advocated was find a leader among the black community that is highly respected. Let him be our spokesperson and lead the black people toward euthanasia. That was the game. I mean, it's all spelled out. It's all written out. I don't know why people don't read that stuff, because she said it. That's what she wanted to do. The Nazis, on the other hand, had a term, useless eaters. They found people that they thought were defective, and they wanted to sterilize them and, of course, ultimately murder them. We can't have a concept of people who can be destroyed by the government. It's not good. And yet we have that, this country, and the big money, the Rockefeller Foundation and others, went to support Planned Parenthood. Why? Because the big buck people did not want to have welfare rolls cluttered with black babies that they had to pay for.
Youngster, Kendrick Johnson, 17-year-old black child, found dead in the high school gym and stuck between some athletic equipment. Then we find out that all his organs is gone, okay? The sheriff and all the folks down there, the natural causes. Now you got an undertaker and call, I know you're not being back, but you need to check this out. The undertaker, this happened in Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia. The undertaker that was brought in to deal with the body is the same undertaker from Miami that was used to deal with Trayvon Martin. Now, you're going to tell me, as close as Atlanta is with black undertaker, you're going to call all the way to Florida and have a black undertaker come up, and then they exhumed the body, because people was asking serious questions, and found out his body was stuffed with newspaper. The black undertaker from Miami didn't know that, then he must be part of it, okay? Now
he's the same one who did Trayvon, right?
The same one that did Trayvon. And I've always suspected something was wrong with Trayvon, because it's not been for you and black radio, we would have never heard of him, because he laid in the morgue as a John Doe, okay? Case would have been closed. And so now what we're looking at now, the body's been exhumed, and we find out that all his organs was gone. I've been trying to tell y'all that, and I keep telling you, you don't hear it. That the drive-by shootings, most of them is body organ stealing, okay? We go back to and it's been reported, but ain't nobody listening, because it seems so awesome. But if you Google a New York Times story, July the 24th, 2009, 44 charged by U.S. in Jersey corruption sweep, and they talking about stealing organs. And so consequently, the biggest money maker on the planet right now is organs. That's what's been happening right in front of you. And so, let me give you an example. If you, my son, okay, and they come by the house and announce to me and your mother that you've been killed in a drive-by shooting, I have no jurisdiction over that body. That's a murder. That's a homicide. The coroner determines when I see that body, okay? So when I get in there and see the body and see all them stitches and needle marks and I just assume that was part of the investigation. I have no idea they're taking your organs, okay? That's what's been going on, and that's what happened. Very seldom you get that lucky. We got a bunch of us that follows them and look at it, but for the first time, I mean, CNN talked about it. It broke. The white station that broke it was Headline News. And I mean, even the guy, I was shocked. Somebody called me and said, the guy that broke it said, Dick Murphy's been talking about this for years. And so now, when you stop and think about what's been going on, why wouldn't I, as a mother or a father, I'm already shook up over my child being murdered. Why would I think there's anything devious about it? Okay? And now, all of you all that's listening that had a loved one, ain't no way you can get to the body, because you got to go to court and have that body exhumed, and they're not about to do that.
It's New York Times, June 24, 2009. 14 charged by U.S. and New Jersey corruption sweep. A 2-year corruption and international money laundering investigation stretch from the Jersey Shore to Brooklyn to Israel to Switzerland. And then they go on to say the people that they busted
was 2 mayors, 3 people from New Jersey City Council. Then they go on to say what it amounted to was illegal sales of body parts. That's the New York Times.
Oh, wow. That's a...
We don't know nothing about it. And it's us that steal. Another one came out in Newsweek, January the 9th, 2009. Organ trafficking was long considered a myth, but now mounting evidence suggests it is real and a growing problem even in America. And then you have the one that's kind of interesting. We show what the body parts sell for. So they have a diagram of a human body, and they have a mark of what's called, just like you was chopping up a hog. This is what the feet, this is what the pig feet sell for here, right here.
Wow.
Okay. The problem is, I don't have no problem. I have a problem with black folks who think they so fucking hip, man. And they don't even know nothing like this is going on. They believe all that crap they tell us. I'm not talking about square, I'm talking about my mama. I understand how ignorant she was and my grandma. But all these motherfuckers run around with ink, raising pins in their nose and tattoos on and talking that bullshit about how black they are. And this is how black the white folks say you are. This here come out of a Maine special prosecutor is interviewing families about 100 people who died suspicious or unexpected deaths to determine whether their brains was improperly removed. And so I walk down the street and I hear everybody talking shit about the basketball this and white folks this and white folks that.
Please wake up.
People are upset about some things, darling.
Why are they yelling?
They want attention. They're trying to get attention so that people will listen to them.
This is our way of trying to get some media attention because they are ignoring us, they're ignoring the anti-war movement, they're ignoring the anti-government movement. We love our country, but we cannot trust our government anymore.